Today we'll be creating slideshows from Markdown using a technology called Marp. In advance of today's exercise, you'll want to install Node and Visual Studio Code or an IDE of your preference. I've created a directory for today's exercise, and I'll install the Marp CLI using npm. We can open up that new directory in Visual Studio Code and create a Markdown file. Sample.md. Similar to from the Jekyll exercise, we can define what is front matter, variables in the top header separated by some dashes. And we'll use the theme as our first variable we're setting here, the theme uncover. Let's add some Markdown just for like a header and some exciting content. We'll say Marp slide 1 as our heading. And exciting content. Woo! Maybe we make it bold. I think that's pretty exciting. Then let's add a second slide. We can do that by adding a break of 3 dashes. And then, once again, we'll have Marp slide 2. And slightly more exciting content is going to be on the second page. Excellent. And here we have our first slideshow. Back in the terminal instance, we can run the Marp CLI that we installed before via Marp, and then specifying the sample markdown file. And we'll say, hey, let's put it in PDF form. If we look into the directory now, we'll see, hey, there's a sample.pdf that was generated. And if we want to, we can go ahead and open that guy up. And here's Marp slide 1 with some exciting content, Marp slide 2 with slightly more exciting content. We've uncovered most of the complexity of Marp already. It's just a simple way of taking a given default theme and applying content to it, which is pretty great. That trivial nature of it is pretty powerful. One of the other features that's built in is the notion of themes. So if we wanted to, we could change uncover to Gaia, which is another default theme. I'll include a link down below with a list of default themes. But if we now go back to the terminal instance and we regenerate, we'll be able to see the different theme. So I've run generation. I'll go ahead and open that back up and refresh. And voila, we see Gaia applied instead of uncover. And it was really that simple. I just changed one line, and it revisualized the entire content. Last major thing to show off is that Marp supports different outputs than just PDF. So if you wanted to generate HTML, well, you could just do Marp and then include the sample markdown file, the input that you're going to generate content off of, and that by itself generates HTML. We've been doing a --PDF, that's how we're generating our PDF. But if you wanted to instead generate a PowerPoint file, you could do pptx, and it'll output that to a PowerPoint file. So now, in our directory, we've got the markdown file that we used as our input, and from it, we've generated HTML, we've generated PDF, and we've generated a PowerPoint file. That's pretty powerful. Today we looked at Marp as a means by which to create slideshows from Markdown. We used this Markdown that we've created to generate a PDF, a PowerPoint file, and an HTML file. We covered how to change themes. And in the description below, we're going to have a few links that show some documentation and some default theming, as well as, once again, the Markdown cheat sheet that I like to use for how to show different emphasis or links or what have you. If you have more time, go ahead and check out those additional resources. If not, congrats on a non-zero day.